Hi friends, welcome to KiduKids. Okay, so anyway, I hope you are having a very wonderful time, going to school, going for activities, everything. Now you must be trying to cope up with the exams, you're, in the whole co-curricular activities, everything. You're trying to cope it up, and studying for the exams also is a very hard thing to do. But still, we try to we'll manage it. So everybody must be in the rush of the exams, everything like that. Everybody has their own reasons. Many must be behind, studying maybe for the exams. Nowadays, most of the schools are having their exams now. That is a summative assessment. Even I am having my summative assessment, and I'm also learning everything. So today also we'll be having a topic, and we there'll be a lot of things. We'll be having games. If you call, you can play games. You can there'll be rhymes, there'll be stories, there'll be cartoons, many things. And today's topic is actually something what I am doing right now, what you do every day with what you're doing also. Everybody does this. Today's topic is communication, and before I go into communication, you can also communicate with me. You can see the number on the screen, so you can take, we all have phones nowadays. Maybe even if you don't have phones, there'll be the landline connection, or maybe your parents' mobile phones, cell phones. You can use any of that to communicate. You can see the number below on the screen. You can dial up the number, call me, you can talk to me, you can tell me how was your exams going on, is it very hard, or how are you doing, your day to day. You can describe it and not make me ask all the questions. You can ask me also some questions you would like, things like that. So today's topic, you must have all got it. Today's topic is communication. Communication, now there are many types of communication. First of all, let's get the general topic. What is communication? Communication is actually something when we transfer information from one place to another, or maybe one person to another. And now what I am doing also, I am conveying information to you about communication. So I am conveying this message about communication. Many topics I have talked about, many topics. So things like that I will be talking about. The same thing, I am giving information to you. So this is also a type of communication. You are listening to me, then you are calling me, you're doing everything. So this is also a type of communication. And now if anybody asks you what is communication, also you can easily answer that communication is nothing but when you're talking to somebody, or when you're talking to somebody, you're communicating with them. When you're maybe you're chatting with somebody, you're sending text message, that is communicating with them. Without verbally speaking, we are communicating. We are just writing. So we learn this in English also, in English grammar, everything. Writing, we have writing part also, where we have to write maybe emails, letters, things like that. So and you can take one word from my words, that is letter. So in olden times, most of the people, how they used to communicate is by letters. Now we all have, nowadays nobody writes letters. I don't think so, because even mostly in UAE, I don't think anybody writes letters anymore. Because most of the people, they just send email. We can take the print of the email, we can take it, and they can attach things also. Attachments can be there, of Word documents, anything. You can send PPTs, online via email. So via the web you can check everything. Then also in mobile phones you have the SMS, then the then chatting. You can do all that. So these are all the modern methods. But before, in ancient times, what all the people used to do was letters. Letters, now you might be only learning letters in English, informal letter writing, formal letter writing. So let's get into letters. Letters are mainly used by people of by people who maybe who don't have connection to the internet, or are not accessible to the internet. So they write letters, and it's really easy to write a letter. You have to write a letter, then you just have to issue it. Then you have to put it in an envelope and put a stamp on it, and then you can just give it to the post office, and they will be sending it to any part of India, or maybe if it's if you can even export things outside. So this is how we communicate, and this is actually not a verbal communication. It's we are writing something and they're reading it. So it's a communication like that. So I told you, this is like a old method of this thing. And also mostly now also, if you're sending letters to people, it feels much more better when you get a letter from somebody, because an email can be just copy pasted from anywhere, and you can just send it to copy paste and you can send it. It doesn't feel, because maybe you get maybe 500 600 emails every day. So I'm not talking about us, us children, but parents. They might be getting 500 600 emails every day. And even if you have an email ID, the first thing is that in the email ID you will get emails. So you don't feel very good, because every day you get a lot of emails from many people. You won't feel very good. But when you get a letter from somebody, you will feel really nice, because they put their effort into it. They put all their effort into it, of sitting and writing. Nowadays most people are lazy, you know that. So most people are lazy. They are not, they don't want to write letters or anything, just emails, something like that. But if somebody writes a letter to you, that means they have put that much love and effort into it. And mostly we send letters to, like, our close friends or relatives or family, things like that. So that is what letter is all about. And there is many classifications of letter also. But anyway, our topic today is not about letter, so I'm not going to talk the whole thing about letters. So communication, if you think even before ancient times, how did maybe two kingdoms, how did they communicate? Before and all, they didn't have a post office also. So during war times, in India, all those people, they didn't have even what is post office. There was no post offices. So how did they communicate if they are in a far place? First thing, they sent messengers, messengers, like there are specific people who are appointed for, like, in the in the designation of a messenger. So this messenger, he'll take the letter or any notice or some public announcement, and he'll take it and he'll go read it out to whoever it is concerned to. So if it is the ruler of the other kingdom, he goes there, and if it is to the people, the public, he'll read it there. So things like that. So that was the role of a messenger. And before that also, now you must have all heard about carrier, pigeon carriers. Pigeons are birds. We all know pigeons are birds. So these pigeons, they were trained to take the message. If mostly the message will be tied to one of their legs, and then they are trained to fly from one kingdom to another and give the message, drop the message there. Nowadays that that method is totally not in use, because there are some disadvantages also, because this bird doesn't have to always reach in time there. It can take a lot of time, maybe 2-3 days to 2-3 days to reach there. Or maybe you don't know when will the bird come back. You don't know if the bird is attacked by a predator. You don't know anything. So you don't know if the message is conveyed to them also. So that was one of the disadvantages. And also these pigeons, they were most of the pigeons, they were not allowed to fly. So things like that. There are many disadvantages for that. That's why they mostly stopped that method. And now and there was also communication by this war messages. Communication, they communicate. How did they communicate? They might, there are many places in the current world now also. How they communicate is, if there's a danger in the country or the city, if there's a danger, there are cities where they will strike the gong. A gong is a very huge bell, so it's like enormous bell, and they strike it with a hammer or something that is that has metal in it, and it strikes it, and what happens is a loud shrill sound is created. So because because metals are sonorous, a very loud shrill sound is created, and this awakes the whole city. The sound travels in a very far distance, and all the people know that if this bell is striked, that means there's some danger, and they will have a even in a school we have a fire. If there's a fire alarm or anything like that, we have fire drills, and we know where to stand. We know where to correctly stand. So just like that, these people also, they have an assembly point where they will stand, and all the people must be present there. If it's any natural disaster or anything like that, it will be like that. And when I was just talking about today is actually something I would like to call the blood moon. Blood moon is actually when the moon is like seen in a red color. So I don't know much about it, but you might know. If you know, you can call me and tell me and tell everybody more about it. The blood moon tonight. I only know that much information, and also when I think it takes place when the sun is really close to the earth. So if you have more information about that, you can call me and you can tell me also, instead of me the one telling you about this. You can tell me, you can tell everybody, you can tell information on that. So that was just a quick interesting fact I told you. So today, communication, that is a topic. That is, I was talking about letters and things like that. That was a very old method of communicating, and the most common method of communicating is like we all know, that is talking. You can talk in mobile phones. That is also communication. You can talk person to person, like I'm talking to you right now. So you all, how many people are listening right now? So all those people are listening. So like this, I am also communicating. And there is there are many types of communication also. There is the print media communication, that is something printed, something written. Then they have the billboards, which communicate some information, or some sales, or some sale or some discount in some shops, or some new shops opening here and there. So, and then flyers come out, this pamphlets which come, which is written all the information. You can open it like a flip cover book. So things like that, like these are all the ways people communicate with us. So now I want to ask you a question. That is, now there are many methods of communication. So there is old methods and modern methods. I will be talking about a few only, but you might know much more about it. So why don't you research about it, about methods, or some innovative methods that are used by old people or modern times, that is to communicate. And a recent news that I heard was that was actually, it was a lady. It happened recently, just maybe 2-3 days ago. This lady, actually, she wanted to buy a phone. And it was a very huge line for that phone. To buy that phone, it was a very huge line. So what she did was, she she had a tablet, a device. She actually made a robot, a Segway robot, which can move by controlling it, a Segway robot, to stand in line. So she parked the Segway robot like the previous night itself, and the next night what she did was, she was like one of the first people to get that phones also. So she went and stood in line, not she, actually the robot. So the robot was controlled, and the robot had the pitch of in the device had the picture of her, and also there was a small speaker also, which she was speaking through that, if what phone she wanted, or giving the permission to the sales officers to use her credit card, like that. So the credit card, the salespeople, what they did is, they took the cover, they put the phone inside, and they hanged it on the speaker, and then it came back. So that is a very innovative method, how she communicated with the salespeople, how she without herself standing in the line, she made a robot to do it. So the world is becoming much more developed now. More people are creating more things, inventing more things. Now the prosthetic arm was a very wonderful innovative idea that was created, that was invented. The robotic arm that does things very quickly. So things like that. Now communication, that's why this was a bit related to communication. That's why I told you this interesting fact.